Hello everyone! Welcome back to the English Danny channel. Today we're going to learn about reflexive and indefinite pronouns. Let's get started. Now let's learn about reflexive and indefinite pronouns. Before we talk about these two different kinds of pronouns, let's answer this question. What is a pronoun? Well, there are many different kinds of pronouns in English, but a simple way to define and think about a pronoun is that it's a word used instead of a noun or noun phrase. For example, if you were talking to me, you probably wouldn't say Sarah, 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 Sarah. You might use the pronoun you, for example. Or if you're talking about another person, you might not say their name again and again, but use things like he and she. So today we're going to look at reflexive and indefinite pronouns. First, let's look at reflexive pronouns. These are words that end in self or selves that are used when the subject and object of a sentence are the same. Remember, English sentences are SVO, right? Subject, verb, object. When the subject and object are the same, we can use reflexive pronouns, words that end in self and selves. So in our example, we see, I believe in myself. I would not say I believe in me. I believe in myself. Here, the subject, I, and the object, myself, are the same. Here, I am talking about myself. So, I believe in myself. Let's learn the different reflexive pronouns in English. Today, we're going to look at 8 reflexive pronouns. For the subjects, I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. So let's take a look and see what they are. Like we saw in our example, the reflexive pronoun for I is myself. I believe in myself. Here, the subject, the pronoun, I, is the same as the object. I'm talking about me, so I believe in myself. Next, let's look at you. So there are two kinds of you. There's first the singular, meaning one, you. So if I am talking about just one person, we would use yourself. You can help yourself in this class by studying, right? You and the object, yourself. Now, what if we are talking about you, but we're talking about many people? Like if you're talking to a room full of people, you, all. Here we would use yourselves. For example, in class, you might hear, you can talk amongst yourselves. Because you, the plural many you, is the subject and it's the same as our object, yourselves. Notice that when we are talking about many, we use selves, and if we're talking about one, we use self. So next we see we. Here we would want to use selves, right? We is more than one, and we would use ourselves. They, we would use themselves. So these are our plural forms. Yourselves, ourselves, themselves. Next we have he, she, and it. Now these are all single, right? He is one, she is one, it is one. So himself, herself, and itself. Let's go ahead and see how we can use these in some sentences in English. Let's get some practice. Here we have 5 sentences. Let's see which reflexive pronoun we should use in each of these sentences. Number 1, Anna taught blank how to make a computer. So here, Anna is my subject. And Anna is one person, so we know it's a word that ends in self, right? Anna is a girl, so we would use herself. She taught herself how to make a computer. Number 2, her computer can turn blank off. Here our subject is her computer. It's one thing, so we're going to use something with self. And her computer is just a thing, so we would say itself. Her computer can turn itself off. Itself. Number 3, Anna made the computer blank. So here our subject again is Anna. She made the computer herself. Number 4, her computers can fix blank. So here it's plural, so we're going to use something with selves. And we can't say itselves, more than one. We would say themselves. Her computers can fix themselves. And number 5, if we believe in blank, we can achieve anything. So here our subject is we. So what would we use here? Should our word end in self or selves? It should end in selves because we is more than one, right? If we believe in ourselves, we can achieve anything. So notice how the subject tells us which reflexive pronoun to use. Our subject and object are matching. Let's look at some questions with reflexive pronouns to see how we could ask a question with reflexive pronouns and how we could answer. Have you taught yourself a skill? What? How do you reward yourself when you've done something good? And where do you imagine yourself 10 years from now? Notice that in each of these questions, our subject is you, and our reflexive pronoun is yourself. You, yourself. Since you will be answering, you'll use I and myself. So let's look at number 1. Have you taught yourself a skill? I taught myself to swim. Number 2. How do you reward yourself when you've done something good? I reward myself with a nap. So maybe I do something good, do some good work, and then, reward, take a nap. And number 3, where do you imagine yourself 10 years from now? I imagine myself having a PhD and living in Seoul. So notice, of course, just like all other grammar points in English, that our subject and reflexive pronoun, they change depending on who's talking. Have you taught yourself? I taught myself. She taught herself. He taught himself, and so on. Okay? Next, let's take a look at our second kind of pronoun, indefinite pronouns. So what are those? These are pronouns that do not refer to any person, amount, or thing in particular. These are words you have definitely seen before and maybe just have not known the name for. So these are called indefinite pronouns. These are words like something and anywhere. We can use indefinite pronouns to talk about people, things, and places. And remember, these are words used to talk about things that are not specific. So for example, if we're talking about people, we could say someone or somebody, everyone or everybody, no one or nobody, and anyone or anybody. So we have 4 different starters to our words, right? Some, every, no, and any. We can also apply these to things and places, but first let's look at what these mean. If I'm talking about someone, this means a person, right? Maybe one, someone, somebody, just one thing. Everyone, all, right? Every, all. No one, nobody means zero. And anyone or anybody means I'm asking about, usually we see anyone in a question. Has anyone seen my phone? Any person, even one. We don't know the amount, right? It's not every or no or some, it's any amount. So let's take a look at how we could use indefinite pronouns with things and places. So first we see with people, someone. With things, we want to end our word, our indefinite pronoun with, you guessed it, thing, something. Do you want something to eat? We can use everything, anything, and how about no? Nothing. Right? So we have our same words to start. Something, everything, nothing, anything. It's the same with places. Somewhere, everywhere, nowhere, and anywhere. So with people, we can end with one or body. With things, we can end with thing, right? Easy to remember. And with places, we can end with where. Let's go ahead and get some practice with indefinite pronouns. Let's see if we can figure out which one to use. Number 1, she is, I admire. Okay, here we're talking about a person. So we want our word to, our indefinite pronoun to end with one or body. Okay, how many people are we talking about? Just she, right? So would we say she is everyone? She is no one? She is anyone? No. We're talking about one person here. She is someone I admire. You could also say she is somebody I admire. Both are correct. Number 2, did blank come to your party last night? So if we're talking about coming to a party, who can come to a party? A person, right? So here we're asking, did any amount of people come to your party? So we could say, did anyone come? Or did anybody come? Okay, number 3. I don't want to go blank. I just want to stay home. Okay, so we're looking at going. So we know it's a place, which means we use what? Would we use one, thing, or where for place? We would use where. Here, I don't want to go blank. I just want to stay home. So I don't want to go to any other place. No other place. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay home. Number 4, would you like blank to eat? Well, definitely not a person and definitely not a place. So we're talking about things, right? We're talking about food. Would you like blank to eat? Well, I would not say nothing or everything. Here, would you like something to eat? You could also say, would you like anything to eat? This is also correct. Something or anything could work here. And last, number 5, blank should have the textbook for this class. So here I'm trying to say all people, so everyone. Let's put it together. So finally, let's look at these sentences that have both reflexive and indefinite pronouns so we can see how they work together. Number 1, I think everyone should learn how to cook. I taught myself how to cook when I was a child. Number 2, can you help me with something? My friend locked herself in her car. And number 3, we helped ourselves to all of the food because nobody else came to the party. So there are many different ways we can use these indefinite and reflexive pronouns together. They're very common in English and very helpful to know how to use. Okay, everyone, that's it for today's lesson. Please like and share this video and hit that subscribe button for more English learning videos from our team of real English teachers. Bye-bye.